5, 4, 3.
You didn't do the hand motions.
Sons of bitches.
4, 3.
5.
There you go.
4, 3.
'Tis the season to be merry.
Well, that's my name.
Oh, shit.
Ho, ho, ho. As of the debut of this episode, it is officially Christmas Eve. So Merry Christmas with those extra jingle bells. And welcome to Totally 80s and 90s Recall. This podcast is your personal mixtape of music, movies, and all things pop culture from back in the 80s and 90s. If you're new to the show, sit back and get ready for what could be your best present of the year. And for our returning listeners and subscribers, we're so glad you've made it back down the chimney to enjoy our milk and cookies. I am one of your hosts, David, joined as always by my time-traveling co-host who will always bend over to show you. It is my good friend, Rob.
I'm always willing to bend over and show you.
Yes.
Hey, that Jingle Bell guy in the band, he's fired.
Yeah.
He's off rhythm,
Well,
and he went a little long.
Well, it's Kip's cousin. He keeps making us bring him to the studio. So we just need to tell Kip that's done.
Kip's pulling favors. No more of that.
None of
All
that.
right. All right. Hey, Christmas time has long been considered a time for gathering around the fire and sharing stories, particularly ghost stories. In the Victorian era, Christmas Eve was seen as a time when the veil between the living and the spirit world was thin, making it ideal for sharing spooky tales. The winter solstice, the long nights, and the warmth of a fire created a cozy atmosphere perfect for people to gather close and listen to a good story. Storytelling was and is a way to connect with family and pass down traditions and create a sense of connection with the past. The practice is often referenced in literature like Charles Dickens's A Christmas Carol, which prominently features the tradition of telling ghost stories on Christmas Eve. I thought it would only be fitting, since this episode is airing on Christmas Eve, to gather the family in front of a crackling fire or the glowing screen of your smartphone and tell a good old-fashioned Christmas story. So get ready with story time with Uncle Rob. Grab a blanket or a hot cup of cocoa. Today's story is a classic story with a twist. So here we go. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. We're blaming Kip's cousin for this part, too?
Not this
Yeah,
time.
he's still
right.
playing with the jingle bells.
So here we go. A little mood music.
I see that.
All right, yeah. So down in the workshop, all the elves were making toys for the good Gentile girls and the good Gentile boys. When the boss busted in, nearly scared them half to death, had a rifle in his hands and cheap whiskey on his breath. From his beard to his boots, he was covered with ammo like a big, fat, drunk, disgruntled Yuletide Rambo. And he smiled as he said with a twinkle in his eye, "Merry Christmas to all, now you're all gonna die." The night Santa went crazy, the night St. Nick went insane, realized he'd been getting a raw deal, something finally must have snapped in his brain. Well, the workshop is gone now, he decided to bomb it. Everywhere you'll find pieces of Cupid and Comet. And he tied up his helpers and he held the elves hostage as he ground up poor Rudolph into reindeer sausage. He got Dancer and Prancer with an old German Luger and he slashed up Dasher just like Freddy Krueger. And he picked up a flamethrower and he barbecued Blitzen and he took a big bite and said, "It tastes just like chicken." The night Santa went crazy, the night Kris Kringle went nuts. Now you can't hardly walk around the North Pole without stepping in reindeer guts. There's a National Guard and the FBI. There's a van from the Eyewitness News and helicopters circling round in the sky. And the bullets are flying and body counts rising. And everybody's dying to know, oh, Santa, why? My, you used to be such a jolly guy. Yes, Virginia, now Santa Claus is dead. Some guy from the SWAT team blew a hole through his head. Yes, little friend, now that's his brains on the floor. Guess you won't have that fat guy to kick around anymore. Well, now there's no more presents for the children's enjoyment, and the elves got to stand in the line to file for unemployment. And they say Mrs. Claus, she's on the phone every night with her lawyer negotiating the movie rights. They're talking about the night Santa went crazy, the night St. Nicholas flipped, broke his back for some milk and cookies. Sounds to me like he was tired of getting gypped. The night Santa went crazy, the night St. Nick went insane, realized he'd been getting a raw deal. Something finally must have snapped in his brain. There you go. A little
Very uplifting to start off
I
the
was gonna
show
say, it's a
today.
Merry
Just
Christmas.
give everybody
Merry
a
Christmas, everybody.
great holiday spirit
Yeah.
invoked of guts
No,
and
it's cozy
sausage
and warm.
Yeah, it's something.
It's a feel good
Did you,
story.
did you pen that yourself?
No, that was one Alfred Matthew Yankovic
Of course it was.
that wrote that, 1996.
Of course.
Yeah.
What was the title of that?
It's called The Night Santa Went Crazy.
Nice.
And that particular version is the extra gory version.
It seems like
there's apparently 3 versions of that. The
okay.
album version, there was the extra gory,
Yes.
which can be found on the Amish Paradise
good
single. Yeah. And then there was the extra gory live version, which is a little different. So, yeah.
Well, we all appreciate the extra gory
Yeah.
version.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Yeah. And actually, if you find it online, or if you can actually find the actual song, it's sung in the parody of Black Gold by Soul Asylum.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to check it out.
Yeah, you'll like it.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's classic.
Yeah, well, I'll like it. He's guaranteeing I'm going to like it. So,
Yeah.
well, someone else here we like today, joining us in the studio, rolling over so Uncle Clark can scratch his belly, the movie hound.
Oh!
We'll do it ourselves. Ow, 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 ow. Kip is slacking on the pimping today.
Yeah, he's
not
still
good.
dealing with the jingle bells. He took
think
them
so.
away and had to run.
They're all drinking.
Upset
right?
him?
They're celebrating early.
They're doing something.
All right,
So,
I'm back again. Hopefully, you guys don't take me out, leave me for dead somewhere after this. It's possible.
We've tried.
You've tried. I
You
keep finding my
just
way
gotta
back.
go Yeah. You just find your way back in.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can smell
As a movie,
my way back.
yeah, as a movie hound, you have a nose
That's right.
for the studio.
You do.
I know.
Just wander back in. Can't stop him. Why try?
I keep trying to wander
no
away.
reason.
I think you guys keep yanking me back.
We've already said you're in a basically contract that you can't get out of. Our lawyers were
I'm
very.
in a blood pact.
That's right.
Damn it.
Our lawyers are very good.
He's gonna
they signed you
He's
for
gonna
life.
cut out his tongue or something so he can't talk. Or something.
Even then, I think we would still have him sign.
You know what? I don't think the tongue matters because I'm
on
talking out of my
YouTube.
ass
That's
most
right.
of the time.
Ooh, good one. So,
Well done.
well, anyway, we talked about this being Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
When
Ho,
this
ho, ho.
debuts.
Yeah. It's,
Are you two ready for Christmas? Because it's too late to not be ready, but our preparations
Are you ready?
done.
I'm ready.
All right.
No, we're not. I'm not.
I
ready.
haven't
We're
started
not ready
getting
at all.
ready.
You know, we talk about all these holiday stuff we're doing, Hollywood holiday movies and things like that. So if you were lucky enough to see Santa Claus on Christmas morning, of the movie Santa Clauses or TV ones we've seen in our lifetime, which one would you want to run into Christmas morning in your living room?
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say.
wow.
I'm gonna say the Santa Claus from the Santa Claus the movie with Dudley Moore.
Wow. That one, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the most authentic seeming Santa.
Okay. I think Ed Asner's pretty good in Elf. He's a pretty solid Santa. Okay. A little grumpy.
I mentioned it in our last episode, and you didn't particularly care for it. I don't know, but it's a movie called One Magic Christmas. The Santa in that to me is good. He's really good.
Is that Mary Steenburgen thing again?
It's the Mary
The Mary
Steenburgen,
Steenburgen.
Yeah. You're in big trouble, Meatball. That's
yeah.
a great line from
Well, I would go with Tim Allen from the Santa Claus.
yeah, that's good.
Because if I decide, correct. But if I decide I
like it.
want his job,
Yeah.
I'm just going to kick him off the roof. And then I can just take it over, according to the Santa Claus.
The Santa Claus.
right.
The
So-
Claus.
One day we'll do that.
That's
movie,
the good news. Oh, we will.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to.
Because you know
so-
who needs to be Mrs. Claus? The hater of all things.
Hater of all things.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we can get her in here.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess no.
She's gonna.
But we can try.
We've tried. We
Yeah.
tried a second time. Neither one of our wives wanted to.
They
come
won't. They don't listen
in.
to us.
Your wife would do it again.
probably.
Probably.
She'd like that.
Yeah. They don't listen to us. So, one other thing I'd like to plug. We're talking about a lot of movies and stuff this year, but there was a lot of good stuff on TV in the 80s and 90s too. And maybe next year we'll do a TV coverage. I don't know. But
Star Wars Christmas special.
no, not that.
Oh,
okay.
No, not that.
But I was watching something the other day, and I just felt like I want to give it a plug.
Yeah.
If people are looking for something to watch this holiday season, you want that nice 90s nostalgic feel.
Yeah.
I was watching season 4 of Saved by the Bell, episodes 24 and 25. The Christmas.
Is that when they're at the mall?
It's called Home for Christmas.
Oh yeah, they're at the
Yeah.
mall.
And Zach meets a homeless girl.
That's right. And they're trying to
It's
get
a
tickets to
two-parter.
Bon Jovi.
No, different one.
Different one.
Different mall
Oh,
episode.
okay.
Yeah, they're different.
This
Okay.
one, Slater can't wrap things right.
Oh, the homeless girl.
the homeless
They
girl.
do the
Yeah.
play.
And
So,
then
yeah.
there's
in
the
middle of
homeless
the
girl's
mall.
dad.
Correct.
Yes.
So Zach's hitting on the homeless girl, not knowing she's
Yeah,
homeless.
yeah.
Then finds out she's homeless, and then gets his dad to hire her dad because he's also in computers
Yeah.
in 1993.
And then she never shows up at school.
never shows up to school, but they do move them into their house for a short period of time as
Yeah.
well. So he wanted to hang out with that girl so much, he got her dad a job and moved her into his house, hoping that would seal the hookup.
Yeah.
But we never get any end to that
We don't
story.
know. Yeah.
In fact, I think they just hug at the end of the episode. But
There's no closure. We don't
anyway,
have any closure.
if you're looking for a good 90s nostalgic
Oh, yeah.
Christmas special thing to watch, episode 4
People are writing
or
that down
episode
right now.
24, 25, season 4 of Saved by the Bell. Can't do much worse.
Can't go wrong.
The listeners are like, what did he say? Get a pencil.
In fact, you've
did
also
he
got
say?
4.
Season
Episode
4.
Yeah.
24,
24,
25.
25. You've also got Slater in a sleeveless elf costume.
That's right.
Oh, that's
Doing some
true.
hip hop dancing
Yeah.
at a children's hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty good. I
when
mean, you
when
get everything.
When you got
Everything.
gold, you gotta
It's gold.
use it.
It's gold. So it was good. Anyway,
If
so
I look like
looking for
Slater,
something.
I'd wear sleeveless. I try to wear
Number 2.
sleeveless anything. And
Good. We can't wear it in here. It's too cold.
yeah, it's,
Too cool.
Chile.
I
So
don't really fill it out.
I got you. So, all right. Well, as much as we love Saved by the Bell, and we've been on record, we've been on record many times about
You've been on record.
one of the best TV shows of all time.
You've been on record.
That's not what we're doing today.
Yeah.
Why don't we tell our audience the topic we are covering for this episode?
We are talking about, it really is a Christmas classic, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, 1989's National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
As opposed to 1990s?
After vacationing
Take it,
across
Russ.
America and throughout Europe,
Take it, Russ.
this holiday season, the Griswolds are going to play it safe.
Clark, we're stuck under a truck.
Oops. They're staying at home.
I give you the Griswold family Christmas tree.
Hope you're not getting sap all over your sweater, Clark.
All Clark wants is a quiet, old-fashioned Christmas.
Sorry. Got a little knot here. Can work on that.
What he's going to get is the gift that keeps on living.
Merry Christmas.
His family.
We didn't come to impose.
Oh, hell, there's plenty of room.
Do you sleep with your brother? Do you know how sick and twisted that is, Mom? Well, I'm sleeping with your father.
Have you got a kiss for me?
Yeah, you better take a rain check on that, Art. He's got a lip fungus they ain't identified yet.
But no holiday could ever be more deeply touching.
We were gonna call, but Eddie wanted to make it a surprise.
If I woke up tomorrow with my head sewn to the carpet, I wouldn't be more surprised than I am right now.
We're really gonna fly down the hill with this stuff.
So genuinely moving.
Can I refill your eggnog for you? Drive you out to the middle of nowhere, leave you for dead?
More truly uplifting.
Can I show you something?
I was just browsing.
Or more down to earth.
Merry Christmas!
If Santa is smart, he'll stay well clear of this joint. It's a death trap.
Than Christmas with the Griswolds.
Everybody come out quick, look at the lights!
They want you to say grace.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
This year, let Chevy Chase light up your holidays. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
That thing had 9 lives. She just spent them all.
You woo, crack up.
So first assessment, a little long.
It is
A little
long.
long.
And I think they're giving away a few jokes that you didn't need to edit in. I would have kept a few of those out.
And there's
Voiceover guy seemed a little sleepy for me.
Yeah, and there are a couple lines in there I don't
Well, they're not
being
from
in
the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely takes that they didn't use in the movie. But that happens in
Didn't
trailers.
make the final scene.
They'll throw things in. Yeah, because what's his face? Uncle Lewis.
Lewis,
Yeah, he
yeah.
doesn't-
I was going to say
he
that
doesn't say
Lewis
that.
man. I was like, I didn't remember.
Yeah, still, the death trap's not anything he says. And I don't believe Clark says, hey, come out and look at the lights.
Yeah.
That's not how he presents that. So, a little different. However, 35th year anniversary, because you said it came out in 1989.
Yeah.
So 35 years. How's that make us feel? 35-year-old
Young
movie.
and spry.
I think so. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I think so. Which means the first time I saw this was when I was 13. So
Yeah.
you were 12.
12. Yep.
And you were?
9.
Good. I like it. Single dig.
That's right.
Single digits.
Single dig.
Still like
Just
it.
a wee
So.
lad.
That's right. Still him.
Well, as you said, Christmas classic. And this week I had the unenviable task of looking up the reviews from our friends Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel What's your first? Did you peruse it ahead of time?
We did.
I did not.
Okay.
No.
What do you think they're gonna have? What do you think their stance is going to be?
I'm gonna say not big fans.
Okay.
Because they're usually comedy's a harder one for them
It's
anyways.
tough. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm gonna guess he's Ebert's take on it is gonna be similar to Jingle All the Way.
Oh,
Like
okay.
2.5 stars. Kind of that same. Some
Too much slapsticky stuff.
Yeah, and
Gotcha.
It's missing something in the plot
Gotcha.
or something. He can't like anything. So
Yeah, that's true. So, well, I was able to find on the YouTube the original episode from the balcony, filmed in 1989. So this is Siskel's hot take. He said, unlike the other two movies in the Vacation franchise, this film isn't remotely funny. It doesn't go anywhere. They're just stuck in their suburban home. Some vacation that is. Sarcastic things at the end, right? Okay. The humor is mostly slapstick, bad slapstick, like when he's locked in the attic by his mother-in-law. I only laughed twice out of the 100 attempts in the movie that they made, one being the house lights scene. All the humor is of the nerdy in-law, nerdy neighbor variety, and there's no comic energy in the film. The Griswolds can be funny when they actually go on vacation, but not here when they stay stuck at home. He really didn't like the film and felt very disappointed in it.
Oh.
So that's Mr. Gene Siskel.
Well, I'm disappointed in Gene.
I didn't like his review. Yeah. And he was a little hostile in the balcony.
Yeah, I don't.
But Ebert chimes in. He says, I think I liked it a little more than you. I laughed more than twice. But it's not a movie I can recommend to people.
Yes, he didn't.
All the elements are in place, but they just seem to misfire a lot. The in-laws are not very funny, and they don't differentiate from one another. The forms, he said, the four characters are the same. They're just standard, stereotypical joke in-laws. He's not sure why they didn't go on vacation. They're both really locked on this thing, need to leave home thing. But he wished the movie had gone somewhere else than where it actually went.
Okay.
So Roger goes 2 stars for this one. Less stars than Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
So that's Siskel and Ebert's
That's
take.
unfortunate. I wonder if they like retrospectively.
So I looked
back. What would they have changed?
I went back and I looked for if he did one of his retro.
Yeah.
Nope, never went back on it. He was solid on that 2 stars. Wow. So Roger and Ebert think they misfired on this one. As we've said, comedy. Gets past them. And I think the more balcony episodes I've watched, those two, maybe not total Chevy Chase fans.
No, that's possible.
Because they've trashed a few of his movies.
Yeah. Maybe they met him personally, and that's
possible.
what I've heard doesn't enough for a lot of people.
Well, it was funny. I watched a YouTube where they were doing a reunion of, it was Chevy Chase, Beverly D'Angelo, Juliette Lewis, and Galecki. And they were asking them questions. And they asked a question, and Chevy Chase started to answer it. And then Beverly D'Angelo kind of chimed in. He goes, "Oh, well, I guess I'll talk again later." And he just sat there, and this hush fell over the audience, and you could just feel it's kind of awkward now on stage. But Chevy, and he like put his microphone in his lap, like he openly pouted on stage. It was kind of funny. So
yeah,
I've
heard he's difficult.
He goes, "I guess I'll talk again later," and then he put his mic down. So there you go. Thanks, Chevy.
Thanks, Chevy.
Well, despite the bad review, this is an all-time classic. IMDb listed it as number 6 all-time of the 100 greatest movies. The movies in front of it were it was behind A Christmas Story, Charlie Brown's Christmas, Rudolph, and Elf. All right, so those are the ones that IMDb ranked in front of it. Just ahead of it was It's a Wonderful Life. So if you go on the pecking order of the list. So question for you two. So why do we think the film is so popular even 35 years later, and what has given it its staying power in your opinion?
Ooh, staying power. I think it's nostalgia for all the folks.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's something most people grew up with, and they passed it on now to their kids.
Yeah, but if you look at it, we're passing it to our kids, and why do people still think it's funny? I guess looking at it, watching it again now, if you're watching it 35 years later.
I was going to say, you guys are big movie guys. I'm not a huge movie guy, but
he's a movie boy.
Yeah, I'm a movie boy. Yeah. No, but this is probably the movie that I've watched the most in my life. Like, we watch it all the time, and when it's on during the holidays, it's on multiple times, and so I can quote it. I think the quotability of this movie, if there's a meter, it's really high.
Yeah.
It's really high. But I also think there's something to be said about as I've gotten older, it resonates a little bit more too, where like the
frustrations that happen.
Yes, the frustration with family during the holidays.
Yeah.
You see memes online where it says, now as a almost 50-year-old dad, I understand the scene when he loses it. You know, and you're like,
of course,
I've been there.
I've been there. I know what he feels now.
Yeah.
And so I think there's something to be. Anytime it hits the family button pretty good. I think.
It does.
But
well, I think
even as bizarre as it kind of is.
Yeah, I think people relate to it because, like you were just saying, I think because it could happen.
Yes.
Like now they overdo several of the scenes because you got to make it funny for the movie. But the general idea of having your in-laws in the house and them driving you a little crazy, that can happen to everyone. Having the idea of a random, one of those random cousins or family member that you're like, he has to be here, but we kind of don't like him. Like he's a pain in our butt. That's a real thing. Like that could really happen. Like the sister having to getting kicked out of your bedroom for your grandparents. That happened to me.
Yes.
Like I can resonate with that. Like I lose my bedroom so that they can sleep. Now I'm either in my sister's room or I'm on an air mattress. Although I will say back in the 80s we didn't have air mattresses. I got a sleeping bag in the family room and I'm just on the floor. But that's fine. Yeah. And so. But I think the thing is, it really can happen, and so I think what's most about it is, I mean, even little things like when Juliette Lewis says, "Can you tell Grandpa not to tell people I'm in the shower or I'm going to the bathroom?"
Yeah.
And you're like, "Yeah, that like Grandpa would say embarrassing things to your friends," or when she's out front and she goes, they're in their pajamas, and she goes, "I hope no one I know drives by." I mean, these are I don't know, they seem like real things, and so I think. The way the movie sets up, even our generations of kids, for us going forward and now, I think they look at it and go, that is kind of like spending time with our family. And that makes
the
a lot of
embarrassment
sense.
of family. Everybody.
Well, and even the scene where he hands the lights to his kid and they're in the ball, you know,
a little bit of a knot here. You work on that.
Now my Christmas lights are not that bad, but they're not too far from that. They're in a box in the garage. I'm not even sure I know exactly where they're at. I don't know how many work anymore.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So the process of putting up lights on my house, which I haven't done in years, would not be a pretty, postcard picture. There's gonna be some cussing involved and
it's fun
and running back and forth to the hardware store because something doesn't work and I need bulbs and. I mean, so the reality of, and then him falling off the ladder. I've fallen off the ladder before.
I almost fall off the ladder every year putting up my lights.
There's some reality to that,
Well, so, and I think even, the cranky boss and worrying about how we're paying for Christmas. And like you said, as a 50-year-old looking back on those, now you think, putting $7,500 down payment on a pool, that's in 89, that's crazy time. But putting that down and then thinking some bonus is going to cover it, and then you get the Jelly of the Month Club. That might irritate me just a little bit, But I think it's other things too. Like again, with the crazy, Eddie shows up, but bring in a dog. Like when we don't have a dog here, but you just bring it, and now your other family members, with your wife or whoever it is. It's like, well, we got to you can't put the dog outside. And you're like, okay, so now there's a dog in the house, then there's a cat in the house. And so, but these are things that can happen. I mean, again, it goes a little over the top in spots because we got to have some fun. But even the basis of it.
When our family goes somewhere for a vacation, we have to consider the dogs.
Correct.
And sometimes we've had to take them, and we have to put them in my sister's garage and it's a hassle, and they crap in the garage, or they get into something in the garage. There's some real close, it hits home in a lot of things.
I just think the staying power of the movie is this: like when you're younger, the funny jokes are him going too fast on his sled, Eddie dumping the shit into the storm drain, all those types of things, or Johnny Galecki's little comments, or those are your funny parts. And then when you get older, you start to notice that you notice from the other perspective now, and then those things are funny. The things Lewis does, you're like, oh, my uncle's kind of like that guy, or and then you're like the thing where it's like everybody's at your house acting like you're inconveniencing them when I'm like, you came to visit. I'm not the inconvenience here. This is not how this is working.
Well, even like the Aunt Bethany with her weird gifts and the weird food and we've had examples of that, right? Where you have the aunt that has the weird Jello and
you have to entertain them,
and they send you weird stuff in the mail. And
I think if you look at it, I would say our parents' generation, our generation, so what, Gen X, and then like younger millennials. I think this is probably close to being the movie, right? This is like the one. Right. Whereas and also when you watch this movie now, it still seems like a movie that's not. It's 35 years old, but it doesn't seem like it's that old. If you watch It's a Wonderful Life, like when we were kids, if you watch it that feels like an old movie. Yeah. It's black and white, like they're doing weird stuff in it. Like it just feels like a really old movie. And this one, it never feels quite as old. Even though it's dated in parts, it just never feels quite as old. But so for our generations, I think this is the movie. Now, if you go to our kids' generations now, I think a lot of them like it. They might still go on the side of maybe like Elf or something being more their movie. But I think the generation, because my kids still love this movie. We watch it every year. I know your kids like it. And I'm pretty sure your kids like it. So, and most of the people I know, their kids like. So we've passed it on. So I wonder if we'll get past us. We'll see what happens. But I think that's its staying power. Staying power is, I think that it's relatable, and you can feel like your holiday season could be like this.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, and you have this idea of, it's going to be this great thing. And then when it's over, you're like, holy crap.
Well, what does he say?
I always think it's just going to be a nightmare. And if it turns out okay, you're like, all right, we're good.
Well, what does he say? I hadn't really caught it until I watched it this round where after everybody shows up and he takes all their coats and they all go to the house, he goes,
I'm going to be outside for the season.
He goes, I'm going to go park the car. I'll be out for the season.
Yeah. And
there's times
the way it
I'm
is.
I just want to, I'm going to be out in the garage.
Yeah. And that's right. Like
I'm going to run to the store. I'll be back in a few hours.
I always joke my dad used to go to the garage a lot and he'd tinker with stuff and work on his trains. And then I go, I know. There we go. It's starting to all come into place.
That's why if people are coming over to my house, it's like, I will cook because then I will be out doing something and everything else. Yeah, sure. You guys can come over. I'll be outside because I'm going to grill something
that's right.
somewhere where I don't have to be around.
Yeah. So I think that's always the staying power of this movie because it has that family element to it. Like a movie like It's a Wonderful Life, I don't know, like that's a classic holiday movie, but the way it's set up and the style of that movie, it doesn't resonate with everybody. No. Like that's not exactly that, or like a White Christmas or those kinds. It's not, everybody doesn't really. For the most part, if depending on family dynamics, this is a movie that rings true to people. It's like, I got to hang out with my grandparents. So, you can rub my burr on me heel for a quarter. Oh, you can do these things, a whole quarter.
Well, because I think there's the draw too is that there's an imperfect, it's an imperfect life, and all too often the movies are perfect and pretty and it ends well and the Griswold's family is not perfect. It doesn't meet that, and I think that's most of our families. Yeah. Have a level of dysfunction. We are dysfunctional to some degree in all of our families. We all have the crazy Uncle Eddie. We have it. We all do. And if
some of us are the crazy uncles,
right? That's right. And if you don't, then what do they say? Like, and if you don't have a crazy uncle in your family,
it's probably you.
It's probably
you. I haven't dumped poo into a chemical sewer anytime, but So I just think that's the staying power is. I think you can be relatable to this movie, and then of course they take it up a little and give you some of that humor that you're not used to, but and then overall it has a pretty good. What it really shows is through all of it, which was a big message in the 80s, through all of it, even at the end with all their,
family
combative stuff,
together.
Everybody kind of is happy and, the good things happen. And, even if the cops bust through your windows, we'll all be friends at the end, drinking some eggnog, having a good time.
And your wife will grab your junk. It's cool.
It's all good. Yeah. Even if the daughter's stuck on the wild turkey, right? Or trying to get off of it.
She's in the clinic.
She's in the clinic.
Trying to get off the wild
And the other
turkey.
one's starting his career.
That's right.
So
and the Tilt-A-Whirl.
Carney. Tilt-A-Whirl.
Hopefully next year I'll be able to guess the weights.
Guess the weights. And then the bearded lady or whatever. She's ugly as sin.
Yeah.
Hell of a good cook.
Yeah, good cook. Got the horns coming out of her head.
Oh, well, we're going to try to make sure we don't spend the holidays dead as we head back 35 years to hang out with the Griswolds during National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Santa Claus, hey Santa Claus, hey Santa Claus, hey Santa Claus, Santa Claus, Santa Claus, hey Santa Claus, hey Santa Claus, hey Santa Claus, Santa Claus, Santa Claus. Well, Santa Claus, bring my baby back.
So I'm going to fully admit here today that
I've never heard that last part of the song.
True.
It always stops at Hey Santa Claus.
I've always loved that song because it reminds me of the movie. Yeah. I did not know till I researched and got ready for this. Hey, Santa Claus is what they're saying. I was like, beans and paws or beans. I didn't know what, I never knew what it was. I didn't know it was Hey Santa Claus. Well, I'm not saying that's just one of the first things I heard. But I really never knew they were saying Hey Santa Claus. I've never known that.
What else would they have said?
I don't know. That's the thing. And I never bothered to look it up. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay.
Beans and paws.
I just like the rhythm of it. It was all good. But now that I know it's Hey Santa Claus, it makes a lot more sense.
In the Christmas movie.
So, yeah.
That's funny.
Well, I'm sure at this point in 2024, going on 2025, we're the 1 millionth podcast to cover this.
Nope, we're the first.
This movie.
I looked it up. We're number one.
Or number one. No one's ever covered this movie. So, yeah, being the 1 millionth in one podcast to cover this movie, I'm sure we'll share a lot of information no one's ever heard before. But we're going to try to put a fun spin on it for you, Rob, Dave, and Kurt style, Movie Hound style, and we'll see how good that goes. But before we begin our stroll down memory lane, the Movie Hound is going to give you the gift that keeps on giving the whole year as he shares the important details of this movie.
All righty, here we go. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is an American Christmas comedy filmed that was released on December 1st, 1989, and is the third installment in the National Lampoon magazine's vacation film series. Christmas Vacation was directed by Jeremiah Chechik. It was written and co-produced by John Hughes, and starring, we got a lot of people in this movie. So here we go. Chevy Chase, Beverly D'Angelo, Randy Quaid, Miriam Flynn, William Hickey, Mae Questel, Diane Ladd, John Randolph, E.G. Marshall, Doris Roberts, Juliette Lewis, Johnny Galecki, Nicholas Guest, and Julia Louise-Dreyfus. Plus some other folks, too.
And some others, yeah.
They just didn't make the list.
And a partridge in a pear
tree.
That's
right.
That's right.
This movie had a budget of $25 million and made over $73 million at the box office. Rotten Tomatoes gives the movie a critics' tomato meter score of 71% and an audience popcorn meter score of 86%.
That makes sense.
Now, Rob, as David goes to taste this month's Jelly of the Month, can you please tell the audience about this movie by doing a little segment we call...
Back of the box, back of the box. Box, back of the box.
It starts off at the top of the box. Big giant letters. I laughed myself silly. Christmas Vacation jingled my bells.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was Pia Lindstrom from WNBC TV New York.
Oh.
WNBC.
He's good.
He's really good.
He's really good. He could be the best.
Yeah,
That's right.
Pia Lindstrom. Yeah. Yep, jingled my ball.
Do we know that's a he?
Bells.
Jingled my
That's a
bells.
he.
Yeah. I
mean, I've read
If he's got the bells to jingle.
I've read a lot of his
That's
stuff.
true,
I
yeah.
just,
Actually, I guess it could be anyone.
That's good.
Never mind.
Well, it says, it's Christmas time for the Griswolds, a season for giving, for Yuletide carols, for Christmas tree lights glowing brightly. Hey, wait, that one's not glowing. It's on fire. Yes, Christmas is the perfect season for Clark Griswold, Chevy Chase, and his family. Clark's a disaster waiting to happen. Before you can sing fa-la-la-la-la, he's decking the halls with howls of folly in the box office hit National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It was Wally World or bust in National Lampoon's Vacation, Stonehenge unhinged in National Lampoon's European Vacation. Now Clark wants to make sure his family enjoys the most fun-filled old-fashioned family Christmas ever. Uh-oh. You have to see it to believe it. There are 25,000 lights on the Griswold rooftop, an exploding turkey on the Griswold table, a dozen or so more turkeys, including Randy Quaid as totally grossed out cousin Eddie, as guests inside the Griswold home, and a SWAT team taking battle stations outside. Clark Griswold strikes again, and so does Vacation series creator John Hughes, Uncle Buck, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. You'll love it.
Nice.
Yeah.
This time spelled
with a Y.
There was, yeah. Y-U-L-E.
You got a running time on us?
Yeah. No, there wasn't one on the back of the box.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we happen to have.
PG-13.
Why didn't we just have him read back of the box today?
97 minutes.
97 minutes.
Perfect.
Yeah, no runtime on
By
that.
the way,
bonus
perfect.
material not rated.
Oh, nice. By the way, perfect. 97 minutes is perfect.
Yeah.
And this movie flies by, right?
It does.
So there's I would say there's one scene. The one scene I'm like, I could like, if that's when you're going to get popcorn or something, that scene where he's sitting in his office playing with the pool thing, and the guy comes by and goes,
last true family.
Yeah, and he goes, have a really Merry Christmas. I do like that guy. He's like that schwarmy like business guy, or like he's the one who'll slap you on the butt. He does actually in Friends. He's the one who smacks him on the butt and he goes bing for Chandler Bing. So the same guy. Yeah, he seems like that kind of guy.
Yeah,
open collar guy, always wearing like a Hawaiian shirt type of dude. Yeah. So I think that's the only scene I can think of in the movie where if I missed that moment where he's in the office playing with his model, saying I'll be up to here. Everything else I don't want to miss.
Yeah.
But if I missed that, I wouldn't be upset about it.
This movie, yeah.
But it flies right by.
Yeah.
So great running time. 97 minutes is really good. So, and they pack a lot in. You start off with tree hunts.
Oh my gosh.
Then you get the situation at the office, so you know about that. You get the shopping scene.
Yep.
And then the
attic scene.
The attic scene. You get lighting the house scene. And then the scene with the neighbors. Great scenes. All great scenes, which we'll discuss. So I will say, casting, I jumped into this. I could not find a lot on casting.
I was going to say, I only found
relying
basically
on you
one.
guys. Oh, okay.
I only found Leonardo DiCaprio was up for
I saw
Rusty.
that.
Did you see why he didn't get it?
He wasn't goofy enough.
Wasn't goofy enough.
Yeah.
I can see that.
He's pretty goofy.
I used to. He would have been a little more serious than. And actually, the only other thing I have is, and it's not a casting thing, but Johnny Galecki, who is Rusty, he it was part of that interview I watched on YouTube. His audition was he sent a tape in for the audition.
Yep.
And then he got called back to read with Chevy and the director, and Chevy basically told them that's the kid I want, right? And he said Chevy told him before anybody else had even approved it, and he's like, just come to work tomorrow, you'll be fine. And so it's like,
I guess when he says
so, I think at that time, maybe he had some pull. Is 89? I think Chevy still got a little juice in him.
Oh, he's got a lot of juice when it came to this one.
Yeah. So, there were some some things like that. So, other than that, I think they pretty much had casting set. I'm sure
the only other one I found was they asked Christy Brinkley to come back, and she said,
"Oh,
no.
nice.
Oh, yeah."
She said, "No, I don't want to get pigeonholed into."
I agree. Yeah, I don't think
she
it would have
been
worked.
the lingerie girl.
But why would she have been there?
Yeah, that's true.
That wouldn't have made a lot of sense, and it would have been a little
She
too
was still hanging
coincidental.
out with all the truckers.
We still don't understand that situation.
Still don't understand hanging out with the truckers.
So
I think you understand the situation.
But as far as
you just don't want to.
as far as the casting stuff goes, like I don't know. Like
everybody was pretty much cast beforehand.
Yeah, for the most part. I'm sure Juliette Lewis wasn't just maybe handpicked. There's probably a couple other, but they just I couldn't find anything where they listed other actresses.
I even watched a YouTube video of the casting director. The only thing she said was DiCaprio.
There you go. Yeah, I saw the DiCaprio thing too. So, well, the movie, as Rob, this movie is based on a short story.
Yeah.
Right. So, who wrote the short story?
It was Hughes.
John Hughes.
Yeah, Christmas '69 or something.
59.
59. Correct.
Sorry, 69.
And what is the title of the video they pull out in the attic?
In the attic?
Xmas 59.
Xmas 59. Little callback
Little
to
homage.
John Hughes. Did you not have that?
I didn't have
that.
That
seems like information you would have got right away.
I had
Which is then
the
funny
name of the
because
short story, but
which is funny because then when he's watching the video, it says Christmas 55.
Yeah.
So we're just thinking he went through a number of Christmas videos.
Must have been
what I'm gonna
several
guess.
in there. So, majority of the film shot on a back lot in California. Chicago was just for exterior downtown shots of the outside buildings. That's all it was. But everything else was on a back lot, which I've always kind of when you look at
Colorado,
the neighborhood
when they were wandering for the tree, it was Colorado.
Correct. But I think I've always said when you look at the house and the street it's on, it kind of seemed like it wasn't a real street, and it looks epically cold there. But every time they're outside, you can't see their breath.
Yeah.
You know, so it kind of seems like maybe they were on there.
You're talking about the house.
Yes.
Houses. I read that where Margot and Todd live, that house was the same house used in Lethal Weapon. That's where Danny Glover's character
All
lived.
4 of them.
Detective Murtaugh.
Yeah.
Murtaugh.
Roger.
Not Riggs.
Roger Murtaugh.
Yeah.
But Riggs hung out there a lot. He kind of lived there.
He did.
So
he yanked him off the toilet.
there's a big debate that Lethal Weapon also a Christmas movie. So because at the beginning he's
You don't
hiding
think so?
in a Christmas tree truck.
You don't see. You think it is.
I'm not sold on it yet because
If Die Hard is, then Lethal Weapon is.
because they use Die Hard as a backdrop and a tool in Die Hard,
Right.
whereas in Lethal
we're getting
Weapon,
back into this again.
yeah, in Lethal Weapon,
Nice
there's
job,
just
Rob.
Christmas trees.
Give me
hanging
the
around.
wink, like look what I started.
Yeah. So, on some of that stuff, I saw all the snow is fake, which makes sense. Obviously, he said it was a lot of like shredded up paper and other things.
I heard
like
Beverly
that, so.
D'Angelo was really worried it was going to catch on fire.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So I saw that in some places in Europe, the title was changed to National Lampoon's Winter Holiday. They also changed the photo so he wasn't in a Santa suit, but regular clothes. And instead of gifts and lights, he had regular tools all around him because they didn't want it to be just. They thought it wouldn't appeal as much if it was only Christmas in Europe. But after the success it had in the United States and some reports they got in Europe, they changed the posters and the name back. And then it became just Christmas Vacation for everywhere. But early on, they had it a little once it became popular and iconic, they changed it back. So, but at the beginning, apparently Europeans thought he was just a handyman fixing the house
handyman.
and not necessarily hanging
putting up
lights,
lights,
and stuff. Yeah. So not sure.
That's funny.
You got anything?
Let's see.
Do
I
your
like how
research?
on the I did. I lost a little
yeah.
of a clempt all of a sudden.
I see that.
The one I saw was the People's Magazine. Was the director?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
the
Did read
picture
that.
of the director on the front.
When they're reading it in bed.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. I read that too. So
I saw that the beer that Cousin Eddie's drinking when he's out dumping.
Oh,
the-
yeah.
It was a Meisterbrau.
Meisterbrau,
Yeah,
yes.
they don't make
Not
it.
made
I
anymore.
know.
Yep.
Couldn't get. I tried to get some for us today. Discontinued. So
I don't know if I ever had any Meisterbrau.
Christmas Vacation, they say, actually led to the creation of Home Alone. Chris Columbus was originally directing Christmas Vacation, but he
could
had
not.
to leave it because he could not handle working with Chevy Chase.
Nice.
Literally, he walked in and told John Hughes, "I'm leaving the movie." John Hughes begged him to stay, and he goes, "Nope, I cannot hang out."
And
with
he
Chevy
thought he was
Chase."
never going to get a job again. And
Yep.
he got a call 2 weeks later. For
Well,
Home Alone.
Hughes felt bad for him
Yeah.
and said, so he goes, I have this script if you want to do something with it. Handed him the Home Alone script, and then it just became gold after that. So kind of wasn't him. He said he had to do a little work on the script, but basically he gave him the outline of that thing. So
He did all right.
yeah, I think
did
I
okay.
think he was all right
came
with
out
Home
well,
Alone.
yeah.
So,
I have that there are a couple shout outs to Vacation
no, yeah.
in this movie. So Clark and Eddie are drinking eggnog out of Wally World mugs.
Yes.
That is, of course, the location of the Vacation movie. But then on top of that, Eddie is wearing the shoes that were given to him in the first movie
yes,
as well.
the shiny
When they stop at
patent leather
the
whites.
cousin's house. Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
No, those were good shoes.
Those are
So,
really good
Great
shoes.
shoes.
this is the only film in this series not to use the song Holiday Road by Lindsey Buckingham.
Lindsay Buck.
So, which Holiday Road seems like you could have got that in there.
Yep.
But I
But
do
no.
I appreciate the other
They had,
songs.
they had to
I
throw in.
read-
They threw in the Christmas Vacation song.
Right.
I agree, and I don't mind. I like that. So.
When I read that Lindsay Buckingham didn't want to get pigeonholed into doing soundtrack movies.
hey,
Yeah.
if I
It
was
worked out
hey,
for
if I was Kenny
you're-
Loggins,
you're a
I'd-
friend, Kenny Loggins.
If I was Kenny Loggins, I'd be in the corner going, Lindsay,
Just do it.
do you want to see my
Count the
bank
stacks.
account?
Count the stacks.
I know you got that Fleetwood Mac money, but that Top Gun money, that ain't no joke.
It'll work out, Lindsay.
It'll all work out. I did Caddyshack too. I don't know if you heard.
I still got paid.
I still got that check.
Did you see
So-
that Aunt Bethany?
Yes,
She was the voice of Betty Boop.
Betty Boop.
And
Yeah.
olive oil.
Olive oil.
Oh, that's
Yes,
right.
She did
I
both.
didn't- Yeah.
And this
Aunt
was
Bethany.
her last movie before she
Before
died.
she passed away.
Aunt
That's
Bethany,
right.
very patriotic of a lady. She
Oh,
grew
yeah.
up. She would have grown up during the World War I, World War II
Mm-hmm.
eras. So she's very. She Pledge of Allegiance. She's doing the Star Spangled Banner. So, and I did see also she was like 16 years older than the actor playing Uncle Lewis.
Oh, yeah.
So
I saw
she was quite a bit older than him. She was like in her 80s.
Well, and
Well,
I saw
Clark-
Clark's mom.
Clark's mom's only 7 years older
Yes.
than Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
Correct. And she said she thought that was going to be a problem, but she borrowed some
Talcum powder.
yeah.
And put it in her hair
Yeah.
for the audition.
And she
stuff.
borrowed some glasses and stuff from an older lady she knew, and then it sold.
She
But
sold it. Yeah.
because they said when they called her and asked her, she's like, I'm like 7 or
7
8
years.
years older than this guy. I'm not going to pass as his mom, but they
Yep.
did some, fancy Hollywood work,
That's right.
right? So that's how you do
Not
it.
really. I think there's just like a couple of gray streaks, and she was blonde the
Yeah.
rest of the way. She was just
It's
wearing
not
a
so
hat
bad.
most of the time.
That's good.
I
She
saw
does
that-
have a burr on her heel, so
Well,
that's an
give
old
her a
people
quarter.
thing too.
Gross.
Yeah,
Gross.
I
Rob's
saw
got
that
those.
Chase broke his pinky
I saw that too.
When he
was
when he punched
the
the
reindeer.
yeah either the reindeer or when he nailed the Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Because
yeah.
he punched
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Because then he started kicking because
Yeah.
he couldn't stop in the
that's right.
middle of the scene.
But the director did credit. He said he broke it early in that scene and still powered right through, like it didn't hurt or anything. So we'll give Chevy that one.
Good job.
All right. I know.
Good job,
I know
Chevy.
we gave him a little crap at the beginning here for not being the best, but maybe he was okay there. So
I saw that there were only 2 Christmas movies released in '89.
I saw that too. What was the other one?
Prancer.
Yeah,
And
a Kurt favorite.
That's right.
Johnny
I've never
Galecki
seen
was
it.
in both of them.
He was. Yeah.
So
He got pigeonholed.
he had a little run.
got
He had
pigeonholed.
a little run there.
He had a good run. He's got Prancer. He's got this movie, National Lampoon's, goes right into Roseanne, and then after Roseanne, rides right into Big Bang Theory.
Bang.
Oh yeah, he
So
did okay.
Galecki's rolling.
He's okay.
He's doing okay.
Did any of
doing
you
okay.
catch part 2?
No.
I did not.
Much like Jingle All the Way, I refuse.
The
and I will
only
not.
vacation movie to have its own sequel.
That is correct.
I read that it holds a 12% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Still
Higher than Cocktail. which is an abomination. I cannot believe critics watched National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation 2 and said, this is better than Cocktail. That is, there's no world we
Better
live
than
in.
Mr. Flanagan.
No one's better than Flanagan. Damn it. This movie could have used Flanagan.
You know what Cocktail's problem was? One black swimsuit.
That one black swimsuit. She's just had one other swimsuit.
A two-piece something.
Would have at least got him into double digits.
Something, right? Yeah, you just needed one more. Or maybe his Hawaiian shirt just needed to be a little baggier. It wasn't quite big enough.
Quite baggy enough.
So, I did see Ellen, played by Beverly D'Angelo. She actually tells a lie in the movie at the end.
Yep, I saw
She
that.
says, "This is our family's first kidnapping,"
yeah.
which is not true.
It's not. It's
Because
their
they
second.
kidnapped John Candy in the original.
In Wally
so
World.
She forgot.
Yeah.
That's okay. Just a little editing thing. So, did you see about the untrained squirrel?
Yes, because the train squirrel died the day before.
The day of, I
Wait,
read.
was it the morning of?
The morning of shooting
I
the
didn't hear
squirrel
that.
scene.
I did not read that.
Yeah, they had this beautifully trained squirrel, and then they basically went outside and just found another squirrel, and they like tried to train it for a couple hours before filming, and then you just got what you got.
Yep, they just
So,
got craziness.
yeah. So, so all kinds of squirrel havoc.
And the
going
animal
on.
trainer goes, well, squirrels don't live very long. That was his excuse.
Wow. I didn't know
He
that.
lived long enough to train, but not to perform.
So
Story of my life.
I saw that his expletive-filled tirade at the end. He had to have
Cue
cue
cards.
cards.
Yeah.
Cue cards
Everybody-
on the actors,
yeah,
so you can
everybody's
see him
wearing-
as he's
yeah.
looking at different people.
And I was like, oh, you can see him looking around the room.
that's pretty good, though.
Yeah.
Right. So, and you already mentioned about the crotch grabbing scene.
Yeah.
Improvised.
Improvised.
She just did it and then they kept it.
Yep.
And so, and I read that it was a director or producer, she put it on to start with. They're like, okay, then shakes the hand and put it back. They're like, we didn't know why she didn't put it down, but she just put it back and we're all offset, just laughing. We're like,
Yeah,
brilliant.
that makes
Brilliant.
It, yeah.
That was really good. So, for the first time in 3 movies, Audrey is older than Rusty.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
saw
So
that. That
that's
was
the
weird.
And
first
it's
time
funny.
they did
I
that.
always thought she was much older. It's only like a year and a half.
It is.
That difference.
So in this movie,
I thought she was like 16 and he was like 10.
Oh, so in this movie, he turned 14 while they
During-
were
yeah,
filming,
while filming.
and she was 15.
Yep.
Oh.
So they weren't, they
Interesting.
weren't far apart at all. So
But he had not grown yet.
he had not grown. Yeah, he's a little guy.
He was a little guy.
So
he was still at the kid.
Nothing you can do
I saw,
about that.
I saw there was an earthquake.
Oh, I saw that
Yeah,
too.
the
Yeah, that
scene
was-
where Lewis and Bethany show up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Apparently there was an earthquake during that.
Little shake of the camera.
Yeah. So
Did you break wind? Did the room clear, Bethany?
Jesus.
Presents.
I saw that Eddie's sweater Dickie combo was
Yes.
actually Quaid's wife's idea.
Quaid.
Quaid's wife.
that's a great outfit.
This movie
I
could have
love
used a good quado in it.
Yeah.
Good Quaid.
No, Quaid was enough.
But speaking of Quaid, Randy was a player on SNL, Saturday Night Live, for one season in 1985. That was the season where everyone got fired at the end of the year.
Yes.
So, and I believe Julia Louis-Dreyfus was that part of that
Yep.
cast, the 1 year cast, and then they cleaned house. Robert Downey Jr., Anthony Michael Hall, and then they were like, "Nope, you're all
gone.
See
You did not do a good job.
So, yep, got a
Speaking of Randy Quaid, I have it says that Randy Quaid was Gene Autry's he was third cousins to Gene Autry.
Yeah,
And then that plays into at the end of the movie. They play
very excited about that.
Gene Autry's Here Comes Santa Claus. So.
Let's see here. Oh, I like this one. Johnny Galecki said during lunch breaks for filming, Chevy Chase would take him to they were filming Ghostbusters 2 and Harlem Nights on 2 different sound stages. And he would take him to those sound stages during lunch. So he got to meet Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Bill Murray. He got to meet Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy. And he was like, he didn't have to do that. It was awesome. He was like, he said, Chevy walked around and go, hey, this is kid filming with me. He's an upcoming actor. He's a great guy. And he was like, I'm shaking all these guys' hands and Red Fox. And he's like, this is awesome. And then Chevy's like, this is my friend Eddie. This is my friend Dan. This is my friend Bill.
Oh, that's cool.
So well, I thought that
And
was
they
good.
all turned around and go, God, I hate that guy.
Yeah, I know.
What a jerk.
Or like he turns his back and they're like, hey, kid, be careful around that guy.
He's going to be nice to you now.
I don't remember in your intro if you talked about the budget.
He did.
I was
Okay.
I was shocked at how much the budget was.
Well, that's why it says it had a $27 million budget,
That's a lot.
which was particularly high considering that the film had no special effects.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Ghostbusters
Ghost-
at the
was it
time
33 or 30,
was
something like
30
that?
million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then it made 70 million, But yeah, the idea that seems really high when something like Ghostbusters would be 30.
I was kind of shocked how much.
I don't know.
But with the amount of actors in it, maybe
That's
some of that
true.
was eaten up a lot by.
Right. 'Cause some of those were
I didn't get
Oscar
it.
winners or
Yeah.
whatever.
I didn't see what it was, but I'm sure Chevy got a decent paycheck out of this. I just didn't see exactly what he got. But in 1989, I don't know, a good actor is probably getting 10 to 15 million, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. So he's getting a good check. Beverly D'Angelo is probably getting less. But yeah, some of them are commanding, I would think, some more. So Brian Doyle Murray plays the boss.
That's right.
He was also in the original Vacation.
Oh,
He's
was
the
at
guy
the-
where they did the tents.
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, they're very nice tents.
That's right.
We'd like to send out a mailer."
I like that mail.
So,
Yeah.
did you see that gift where he gets the same gift from everyone?
Yeah. they're
Yeah,
all
it's all
same-
little. Yeah, it's in shape.
Same
Like
Did you see what it was?
What is it?
So it is a desk organizer.
Yes.
is what was shared with
That's
everyone.
funny.
It's a desk organizer. So he's got 13 desk organizers.
At least.
Yeah,
That's
get me someone. Anyone.
I don't know. Give me somebody while
Give
I'm
me
waiting.
somebody while I'm waiting.
That's a good one. So
I got that Frank Capra III was an assistant director. So then there's a scene where Rusty's watching the movie in the living room there.
Oh, yeah.
And he's watching It's a Wonderful Life. So it's a
Yes.
little nod to Frank Capra, who directed Wonderful Life.
wow, really good.
Yeah.
I got that Eddie's RV resides at a Christmas museum in Medina, Ohio, and you can go there today and tour it. So if you
I
want
want
to
to
tour,
go.
But is the shitter full?
I would
Always.
assume you would leave it full. Why wouldn't you?
It's
So
always full.
the hose is attached if you look at the pictures on the outside. So the chemical hose is there.
And I will
Rob
tell
and
you-
Rob and I know about dumping that hose.
Oh, yeah.
It's lots
the
of fun.
shitter is always full.
Always full.
Always full.
Be
It's
like
always
every
full.
time Laura's like, "Oh, the gray tank or the black tank, they're full." You're like, "Okay."
And the button never really shows empty.
Nope.
Like it's not accurate.
Always-
And it-
Always leaves
that's-
a little.
Oh, it's
Always
always
that
mine.
little nugget
If
that
I can
always
get it down to
full.
one light, it's
Oh,
like
gold. You got a lot more people pooping in your trailer than I do
oh,
too.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, stop pooping in the trailer. Go use the restroom at the.
Well, no, the
camp.
convenience of the trailer is you
I
poop
know.
in the trailer.
Yeah, I know.
You get in that little room. It's nice and it's like being in an airplane. Yeah, well, confined in there. So, sorry, RV talk, Kurt.
Yeah.
So, what are we gonna do?
I don't buy one of those.
All right. Well, you guys got anything else? Any other interesting
no,
facts?
I talked about all of them.
You talked about everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kurt, anything else?
Nope. The whole thing. I'm done.
Well, then
That's it.
ready
Go ahead.
to jump into the categories?
Categories.
All right. Well, we're going to jump into category 1. This is our favorite quote from the movie.
Number 1.
We're going to start with the movie hound.
All righty. Mine's a longer one. It's old Clark. And he goes, "Where do you think you're going? Nobody's leaving. Nobody's walking out of this fun old-fashioned family Christmas. No. We're all in this together. This is a full-blown, 4-alarmed holiday emergency here. We're going to press on, and we're going to have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby tap danced with Danny fucking Kaye. And when Santa squeezes his fat little white ass down the chimney tonight, he's going to find the jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the nut house."
That Danny Kaye line lives rent-free in my head forever.
That's
I
the
don't
only
remember
way
the
I
whole
remember
speech.
Danny Kaye's name.
That's correct.
It's like, oh, who's that?
Danny
Oh,
fucking Kaye.
Yeah.
that's right.
And I've watched my wife watches White Christmas every year, and as soon as I
great movie.
see him, the first thing I think of is
Danny
tap
fucking Kaye.
dancing with Danny
Yeah.
fucking Kaye.
And doesn't he end that by saying, "Holy shit"?
No, that's
That's
the
later.
other
That's the
speech.
other one.
That's
I was gonna say
correct.
later. It's
Because he has
holy
2
shit.
of them.
Yeah.
There's
So, yeah.
2 tirades.
So, okay, well, I'm going to go next. Mine is the "Why is the carpet all wet, Todd?"
Yes.
I don't know, Margot.
And why is the carpet all wet, Todd?
I don't know, Margot.
We say that in our house.
That
now.
is the line of lines.
My
Yeah.
kids.
So,
My kids
yeah.
say that now.
Yeah,
If I ask him something.
The Margot line is gold.
Yeah. Why?
So,
Why is there not a liner in the garbage can?
I don't know.
I don't know, Margot.
The timing between those two, it's such a small moment and line, but the timing and the amount of sarcasm thrown on it by Christopher Guest.
Yep.
Yeah.
By Christopher Guest, or is it Nicholas? Which one is it?
It's
Nicholas.
Nicholas.
My bad. Christopher's
it's
the
a
older
Guest.
brother.
Yeah, Nicholas.
So Nicholas Guest, the timing on that, he does it. I don't know, Margot.
Margot.
It is so perfect. I can't even explain. So, I mean, I got a couple others. The Hooter hotter than they are is great.
Something?
I was just smiling. I was just browsing.
For your wife or your girlfriend?
What? What happened? Woof. I guess wouldn't be any. Wouldn't be the Christmas shopping season if the stores were any less hotter than they are. Whew, it is warm in here.
Well, you have your coat on.
Yes. Oh, do I? How did that happen?
Because it's cold out.
Yes. Yes. It is. It's a bit nipply out. I mean nippy out. What did I say? Nipple? There is a nip in the air, though.
Can I take something out for you?
The whole thing, that whole...
Yeah,
the whole,
steal him yet. Rob hasn't
I
gone.
got it.
That's okay. You haven't stolen it yet.
I like when he's drinking eggnog and he goes, it's good. It's good. It's good. Yeah, that's a good one. They kind of blow it.
He does a little laugh. He goes, it's good.
It's good. It's good. They kind of blow it in the trailer, but the head sewn to the carpet is great.
It's good.
I really like when she goes, shit and bricks. He goes, you shouldn't say that.
No,
shit and rocks. Yeah. Like, I don't know how she got to that part, but that's I like her. I don't know what else to say except it's Christmas and we're all in misery. That is a great line. And as an adult, I feel that line even more than I did as a youngster.
And
so.
she's looking for the cigarettes. She's desperately looking for a cigarette.
Yeah.
You know?
And then,
are you smoking again?
I really like, where's Eddie? We talk about the squirrel. Where's Eddie? Doesn't he usually eat these things? And she goes, not since he read squirrels are high in cholesterol.
Which I looked up. Squirrels are actually very low in cholesterol.
Oh, very good.
And they said it's probably because he read the thing wrong.
Yeah.
And what's her name? Catherine?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because then and his response to her is he goes,
Where's Eddie? He usually eats these goddamn things.
Oh, not recently, Clark. He read the squirrels were high in cholesterol.
Thank you, Catherine.
thank you, Catherine.
Thank you, Catherine. Yeah. So,
Mine.
Go ahead.
Mine is the scene where the neighbors pull up, Margot and Todd pull up, and he's getting it's right after he's gotten his.
Hey, Griswold, where do you think you're going to put a tree that big? Bend over and I'll show you. You've got a lot of nerve talking to me like that, Griswold.
I wasn't talking to you.
and what's great
A slow look over at Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
I
didn't know you were picking that, and that's what I used for your opening
so
today.
funny.
So look at that.
I love it.
It's synergy, Rob.
Synergy.
We are on the same
Synergy.
plane at this point.
The other one that I like that it's not really a quote, I guess, but is, and it reminds me of us golfing, is when after he releases the tree and he's in there and he's going a little full, little sap, little sap, little full.
A lot of sap, a little full.
There was a time
But
when
it looks great.
we went golfing. And I think it was you. You got
it was me.
You got your club.
I threw my club into
mad.
a tree and it got stuck.
You threw it up there, and the whole time, and you climbed up there.
I
and
did.
It was sappy, and
I
remember
couldn't get my club. I couldn't get out far enough on the ledge.
I have the picture of him sitting on the branch. It's on my phone. I still have it.
And I remember you saying the whole time, little sap.
Yep.
We'll fall.
Maybe we'll post that picture to our Facebook page.
I can't.
I have
people can
since
see him.
stopped golfing.
Oh, correct.
Surprise, surprise.
I don't need that.
And that
so.
tree, I will let you know, is not there anymore.
It is not.
Yeah.
Then it got cut down. Yeah.
Well, last one I had was Uncle Lewis when he goes, the blessing.
30 years ago, they want you to say grace. The blessing.
That's always
points
good.
to his mouth.
Yeah, it's really good.
The blessing.
We
All right.
say that at our house.
Yeah. All right, so that takes us to category 2. Favorite scene. I'll go first because I kind of already spoiled myself here. It's the shitter's full scene. The whole part of that, it chases speech. He talks about the majesty of a winter's morn. Let's see, the cool chill of the holiday in the air. An asshole in a bathrobe, emptying a chemical toilet. But almost my favorite part of that, he goes, shitter's full, that gets all the attention.
You checked our shitters?
But then he goes, yeah, he checked our shitter's full. He checked our shitters, honey. He doesn't know any better. Like, well, he should know better. So it's just funny. But yeah, that whole speech, that's my favorite scene in the movie. That whole speech is great. So
you go next.
All right.
Go ahead, Rob.
I like the attic scene. I think that whole thing from the time that he goes up and I remember because this came out, he said in '89. I don't think I saw it in the theater. I don't ever remember going to the theaters. So I remember sitting in my bedroom and watching this on the TV in my room. So it had to have been a couple years later. And I remember that whole scene, laughing, the slapstick part of the thing coming down, then him stepping on the boards up there, and then the reminiscing of him with the movies. That really hit home when I was
Oh yeah,
12 or whatever, 13. It was. I put here in my notes. My grandma had a stroke at that time, and so it was around the time that I started to realize that things don't stay the same forever. And so for him to sit and watch old movies, and I just remember getting the feels. And then at the end, when she opens that door and he just disappears, falls.
She's going to the hospital. She's got at minimum a fractured skull. All right.
And I just remember laughing so hard because he just disappears. But I found a thing that said if you were to make this movie today, he's watching movies from 1990.
Yeah, that's great.
And that sucks.
So that's on a what's that on? That's either on a videotape or it's a videotape.
Yeah. I just thought,
so
what?
When I was thinking what scenes you two might go, I targeted that. That's the one Rob's going to pick. Yeah, it is.
I love that part.
All right, now I'm interested. What do you think I got?
No, you go.
No, Rob. Okay, what do you think? You look like you were thinking.
I'm gonna go the sled scene.
No,
I was thinking the pool scene. That's where I was. Oh, geez.
Mine is when they finally get the lights on.
Oh, of course, yeah. Family in the front yard.
Because it starts off, they finally get the lights on. Margot and Todd destroying their house because of being blinded. The lights, then everyone finally comes out. They're all happy. Before the lights actually came on, Clark has his meltdown where he breaks his own pinky. Then everyone's happy. The lights are on.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got the end. The kicker at the end was Eddie and stuff. And then the and then Eddie. And then we got the eyeballs aren't crossed anymore.
Oh, I love that.
Kicked by a mule, they go right back.
All done well.
The lip fungus.
That's really good.
The rubber sheets in the gerbil.
Yeah.
That's right. Don't forget the rubber sheets in the
gerbil.
Well,
and even at the end of that scene when he says, Russ, we checked every light. And he goes, well, we got to check them again. And he goes, I got a lot of things to do.
Feed the hogs.
Feed the hogs.
Because got to do my taxes. He goes, I got to put the kids to bed. I mean, there's a whole speech in there, and it's actually really funny. So that's a good scene. Yeah,
well, and then when she goes, he goes, I've done everything. And she goes, did you plug it in? And he goes, but just the way she asks.
Yeah.
And then him to think she has the audacity to ask that, did you really check?
And Only for her to go, all right, he didn't turn it on.
He didn't turn it on. Yeah. I'm like, that's something I would do.
Yeah. Fire hazard, though, with those plugs in the garage, I think. I think we got a problem going there. It's like a Christmas Story scenario.
There's just one too many.
Yeah, there's just one too many.
Swift smoke of ozone.
All right. Well, that'll take us to category 3. This is our full Logia scene.
Oh, yeah.
So you can either choose a character you think is going over the top, like doing 100% of their best acting or just a little too much, or it's a character you can replace in the movie with Robert Loggia because he makes every movie better. Start with you, Movie Hound. What do you got?
Right. Here's what I wanted to have Loggia doing. I wanted him reading The Night Before Christmas.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's good.
Just Loggia reading it. Twas like the night before Christmas.
Gather around, kids.
Gather around, kids. Sit down. We're going to raid.
I don't care if you don't like it.
But I just wanted to hear him read Twas the Night Before Christmas.
There arose such a clash. Shut up. like in the middle of him reading, he just yells at people.
That's good. That's really good.
And if Lewis is nodding off, Lewis, wake up! I had him as Mr. Shirley, Clark's boss. I thought him being, cause it would be kind of a similar role that he did in Big for when he was working. He was the head of that toy company. I could just see that same kind of thing. He's like, Clark, what does he call him? He calls him a different name.
Yeah, he does.
He's something else.
Yeah, he doesn't even call him Clark.
Yeah, he goes, but the part on the phone we alluded to earlier where he goes, get me someone. Give me someone while I'm waiting. Hurry up. So drink your juice.
Drink your juice.
So I think Lowe should be good as Mr. Shirley. Not that Brian Doyle Murray's bad, but I think you bring him in, you wrap him up in you're fired. I could see Lowe getting all upset about that. So what do you got, Rob?
I want to see him do the tirade. I want to hear him say.
Really? You gonna take that away from Chevy?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I want to give Loggia a chance to say the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby tap danced with Danny fucking Kaye.
Danny fucking Kaye.
If anyone could sell that F word,
he's gonna.
He would destroy it.
He would hit it. He would nail it.
Well, but I think, and that's that scenario where they want to leave. I think he would terrify them so much. They're like, all right, we're going back to our rooms. Thanks.
Yeah, nobody's leaving. Yeah.
So I do have to give big ups to, I think it's Ellen's parents. They convinced the dad to sleep in a top bunk. I mean, that's like a 65-year-old man, and he climbed up into a top bunk.
They gave him a poster to stare at.
I never understood. I never understood on that one why Galecki and Juliette Lewis. Why
Didn't
Russ
have
and
the bunk
Audrey
beds?
don't take the bunk beds
Yeah.
and put the grandparents in on the flat bed they can sleep together in. I didn't understand that one.
Little
So.
fungus.
Yeah, so fungus. Do you sleep in bed with your own brother? What's that band T-shirt she's wearing?
Oh,
I do
don't
like
know.
it.
don't
Oh,
know.
She's wearing a black T-shirt. I think it's got a band on the
I
front
was
of
gonna
it.
say I tried to read it, then I gave up easily.
Man, I wish I knew what it was. So, but yeah. So okay, yeah, I could see Loja doing that. He would sell that F word a lot better, but I think he would just terrify everybody so much. So, all right. Well, that takes us to category 4. Plot holes or questions you might have about the movie. So, Rob, why don't you kick this category off?
So yeah, I'm gonna go. Clark says he has 25,000 lights on his house.
Yes.
All right.
All right, he probably did some math on
Okay.
this.
And he did.
So for the sake of argument,
How big do you think the house is? Let's start with that.
I don't know. We'll say that
go
there
1,800
are
square
that
feet.
these are the old-fashioned bulbs that draw 7. They draw 7 watts each.
Yes.
Thus, Clark would be drawing 175,000 watts of power,
That's a lot of watts.
or 175.
That's a lot of watts.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I watch a science video in class every year.
I know.
And that's one of the things they say.
That's a lot of watts. And that's equivalent to 175 kilowatts of continuous draw.
Yes.
Now, this is far more than can be delivered to a single-family dwelling using the U.S. standard 120 or 240-volt electrical system. Therefore, Clark's main breaker would have instantly tripped the second he would have plugged in all the lights at once, not counting the lights on his Christmas tree and everything else he uses in the house. For this. So it's,
But I mean, a military guy has to turn on like a nuclear switch.
Yeah,
that's true.
So-
Which, did you notice, auxiliary was spelled incorrectly?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, check it out.
That's good. By the way, that's a lot of watts. I was just thinking Kung Pao. That's a lot of nuts. But that's a lot of nuts. Watts. So, what do you think his power bill was during the month of December?
Obscene.
It's a little
probably,
rough.
you know, the bonus he got
He's
probably
a
didn't
bonus.
cover it.
Yeah.
So he's still screwed about the pool.
We're not worried. That pool ain't going in because I got to pay for the power.
That's
so.
right.
All right. What do you got?
Mine was, I think it's probably the biggest question of the movie. How the hell did you get the tree out of the ground without a shovel or an axe? Or how did they carry it to that
car?
root ball itself is like 1,000 pounds because it still had all the dirt with it.
Yeah, there's no chance.
I had never noticed that he says it because
he said, I dug it out of the ground myself.
I never caught him saying
insane.
that. Where Eddie says, "Where'd you get your tree?" And he goes, "Oh, I dug it out of the ground myself. I
That's
dug
insane.
it."
No, it's insane. You couldn't dig that. It'd be 40 feet down.
No.
He didn't bring any tools with him.
And none of them are dirty.
So,
no.
Well, I've got driving under the semi truck. The scenario of doing that is impossible. You're just all dead because if you don't keep the exact same speed the truck is, you're going to get run over. You can't go left or right. I mean, it just, I don't know. You can't, that doesn't make any sense. So I also question him openly flirting with the lingerie lady. He's shopping with the whole family. But what I really laugh about is Rusty just shakes his head because you know what? Clark does this all the time.
Yeah, he's done. I think Russ shakes his head in every movie.
We talked about this on the vacation.
This is back to where he's not really a good husband or guy. They try to portray him as this patriarch dad husband. He's not. He tells her he's divorced from her. What if she just said, "Hey, let's go grab a cup of coffee"? Is he leaving?
He would have gone.
I think so, right? And then he's fantasizing about her later at the pool. So but Russ is just laughing because he's like, oh, he's doing it again.
Dad, silly dad.
He's flirting again, And if you go back to old Russ, even when it was at the hotel with Christy Brinkley, he was just like, oh, hey, Dad, because they've seen this. Russ has seen his whole life.
Yep.
He's like, Dad's constantly flirting with hot ladies. That's what he does. Yep. And meanwhile, Ellen's probably shopping 2 aisles over for hats and scarves and things, and he's just right there, talking about nipples and logs and all this stuff. I don't have a log.
Unless you think I have a log.
Nipple? Did I say nipple?
Nipple?
There is a nip in the air.
Can I take something out for you? So I did do some research. So the turkey situation.
The turkey situation.
So can that really happen to a turkey? Because when they cut into it, it just
I don't think the skin would still be as golden brown as it would be.
So the short answer is no. Per chef.com, the outside could not look like it did with the inside being that dried out. It would be an impossible way to cook a turkey. It couldn't happen. So the outside would have been, for the inside to match, would have to be completely fried on the outside.
I like how she
totally
also
burnt.
left the innards. Oh, there's the heart.
So, and what are they eating?
Save what? What is he telling to save for him?
Pouring gravy, the neck. Save the neck for me, Clark.
Okay, Eddie.
So what are they eating though? Just
basically
skin?
the jerky skin is what
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
You're pouring gravy on it.
It's so dry.
So I mean, it's that meow mix, right?
On the Jello.
It's good.
Well, I think there were some mashed sweet potatoes because Eddie takes a big scoop and bites off the spoon.
Yeah.
When he sucks her finger when he.
It's lime.
It's lime.
So
this one here is leaking.
I will say I've done that before. I've done that my whole life too. It's good. I sure am enjoying it. So, all right, you got any other questions about the movie?
The only one I had was how did Eddie drive and back in the RV
And no one noticed
while everyone's standing?
That's true.
Because that thing is not quiet.
Yeah. They should, if they'd have parked like across the street or something and walked, it would have made more sense. I thought
they
that
had
same
that
thing
backed into the almost all the way to the house.
Yeah, and they just backed it in.
Yeah.
They got out. They came and stood. The kids, because where the thing, they would have had to go around everyone to get to the end of that line, and not one person saw somebody moving around the yard.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah, and you're going to hear that thing coming to mind.
Oh, yeah. And that's one of those old ones.
Backfiring.
So it's rough looking. A little dirty.
A little dirty.
A lot of sap.
So,
all right.
How's that? RV on
Yeah.
what was it?
There's an
There's an
RV.
RV.
He goes, don't you fall in love with it, because I'm taking it with me when I leave here next month.
Next month.
That tenement on wheels.
Yep.
Tenement on wheels. So, you got anything else, Rob?
No, I got nothing.
No other questions. Everything's good. So,
Everything's
that takes us to category 5, our worst character / actor in the category. Rob, kick us off.
I went with Todd.
You're in. Okay.
Todd Chester.
All right. You're not.
I also had Todd.
Hey,
I said not a great
You know what?
actor. I think
You guys are
his
wrong.
line where he goes, "I don't know, Margot."
Yeah.
I think that was him trying to deliver a good line, but it just came out sarcastic sounding.
Kip, can you turn their mics off? What are we talking about here? Kid, Todd's great.
No,
I love Todd. I love that part. He plays the 80s
douchery,
yuppie dude
I
so
think
well.
the slick back hair is just that. I think he's just
so
being
good.
a bad actor after that.
Well, here, I got a hot take.
And did you know that he was the dad from Janie's Got a Gun?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I got a hot take. Todd and Margot are kind of painted as these like villain types of the movie. I don't think they're doing anything wrong. If you really look at life, what are they doing wrong? They're going to and from work.
Yeah.
They're not bothering Clark. Anytime there's
Hey, they're yelling at him. Where are you going to put a tree that big?
Well, he was asking the question because if I was the neighbor, I'd be the same thing. Why do you have a 40-foot tree in your front yard?
I think if you saw your neighbor, you just walk into your house and then say that to your wife. You wouldn't
I don't
yell it
know.
across the driveway to
I mean, but we don't have their backstory. But, they're just a couple of yuppies that, look, we want to invest in some property. We're going to move out to the suburbs. We can get a bigger house. They were living downtown.
Well, he cuts their
commute
tree
a little.
down,
He
breaks
cuts
their
their tree
window.
down, breaks their window.
Breaks their sound system.
Todd just wants to go for a jog on Christmas Eve morning, and Eddie's out there dumping a toilet. That RV is now looking right in their house. They got to stare at that all the time. He does threaten the wife about shoving a tree up her butt. I mean, so the point is I think Todd and Margot are just trying to live their life. They're not bothering anybody. No. He's causing a lot of problems. Like I really think Chevy Chase is the problem here. It's not Todd.
I have Clark as my second.
So okay. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Worst actor or character?
Well, no, character.
Okay, I got you. So
which is funny because I think did I use him in The Vacation?
I think so.
That he wasn't a great.
Well, he's not a great.
I thought he was much worse in Vacation than he was in this one.
But he's still what he is supposed to be. So I don't. So here's my hot take for this category. I have nobody. I think everybody in this.
That's so funny.
I think everyone in this is perfectly doing what they're supposed to be doing. Like their job is what their job is. Uncle Lewis is perfect for Uncle Lewis. I think Todd and Margot are perfect. The girl at the lingerie store, that extra clown that's talking to him at work. That guy is perfect for what he's doing. Even the dude that's chasing Mr. Shirley around, that's like, he's like, he goes, "Oh, it's a mailer, sir," and he goes, "Company card."
Yeah.
He goes, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, what does he say? He goes, kiss my ass, kiss your ass,
Merry
kiss
Christmas,
his ass,
Merry Christmas,
Happy Hanukkah,
kiss his ass, kiss my ass, kiss your own ass, and Happy
and
Hanukkah.
he goes, Happy Hanukkah. So, but even that guy, he's that suck up that follows the boss around, going, "Oh, you're right, Mr. Shirley."
That's funny. My very first note says I couldn't think of a character that I didn't like.
Yeah, I think everyone.
all.
This is the first movie I've watched where I think everyone is doing exactly what I would want them to do.
There's a couple of characters I want to know more about the backstory, like her parents.
Yeah.
Why do they love Eddie and Catherine so much?
Yeah, that's weird.
When they seem to be like a little more uppity.
Yeah,
but yet they love those two.
They
and
were
they
quick
hate,
to invite them.
And
they're
they
very
hate Clark
judgmental.
But I want to know what else has Clark done to them in the past that really makes it where Eddie's the better choice.
I did something with Clark because the mom and dad don't like Clark.
Yeah.
They're dealing with him. But then I think the two in-law mothers don't really like each other either. So there's a little impasse there. Because you're right. They think Ellen's parents think they're better than Clark's parents.
Yeah.
That's part of their problem.
And vice versa.
And vice versa. Yeah. Like Clark's dad sees himself as a down-home, do-it-yourself family man. Art seems like he's more like, you got me out here in the cold, doing this. They're drinking martinis at night. They're doing all this stuff.
Don't piss me off,
Yeah,
Art.
they just think they're a little more than they are. So, but yeah, I think it's a backstory. Just like I'd like the backstory on why Todd and Margot and Clark hate each other. Because the rest of the family never argues with Todd and Margot. It's just Clark. So something's going on there, right? I mean, he destroys their house. Perfect way to destroy the house. So perfect crime because that icicle melts. So you can't prove I did anything.
Carpet
So,
all
But see, even then, when we were talking at the beginning about relatability, my dad had a neighbor whose dog kept shitting in the yard. So my dad scooped it up, flung it into the guy's yard, and missed, and it went in his boat, went in his fishing boat. And my dad denied it for a while. And finally, the guy came over and confronted my dad and said,
no one's better at avoiding conflict than your dad.
so I'm like, I think that whole idea of like, Griswold and his neighbors, there's some reality there. They probably really, something about the fence line or weeds were going in their yard or something stupid. But anyway,
all right.
Even Eddie's son, who doesn't say a word in the whole movie.
No, yeah,
Nope, not a word.
perfect. He does a great job. His facial, his facial expressions are very good. He smiles, he gets excited, everything good. No, I got no one for this movie. So people can argue with me, but that's what I got. So category 6, the most 1980s object or movie prop from the movie. What do you got?
Man, I struggle.
All right, I'm going to go with this one you guys might like. 1989, end of the 80s. Her Guns N' Roses poster.
Yes.
That's up behind the
she
bed.
had a good one.
I have the same thing.
Appetite for Destruction.
Is that the T-shirt she's wearing?
It might be.
It might
Maybe.
be, but like I said, I couldn't read it, but that was mine.
But I put down the Guns N' Roses poster too because I always wanted that Guns N' Roses poster. In fact, I went to the mall to get it once in the Spencer's, go to the poster area, little compartment's empty.
No, you got the Lamborghini one instead.
I did get the Lamborghini instead.
Purple Lamborghini.
That is correct. I also had the Jordan poster where he's dunking a moon.
Oh, yeah.
The moon in a hoop or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I like that one. So, no, I had the same one. I had the Guns N' Roses poster. I thought that was really great because 1989 is perfect for that that situation right there. So,
Just say I had a backup. Well, let's see what Rob had too.
What do you got,
I
Rob?
struggled on this one. I put station wagon.
Oh,
Lots
okay.
of station wagons.
Yeah.
That was big. You mentioned it in Planes Train. The credit card.
The credit card swiper is really good. Yeah.
But then I put $5.47 for a bag of Old Roy.
Yeah.
It is $20. To buy that same bag
today. Yeah,
so I know.
So the old school Walmart on the outside of the building, that was pretty 80s.
Yeah.
And for us, growing up in the Northwest, you were there too. We didn't have Walmart. Like when I was younger, Walmart didn't come in till later.
No.
Walmart was not a store.
Was a brand new thing until the 2000s.
Yeah, and it had been around forever in the South and Arkansas and all that. But I didn't know what Walmart was. We went to Fred Meyer.
We had Kmart.
Yeah, Kmart.
Yeah, we had Fred Meyer's.
Well, Fred Meyer.
We had Kmart.
I would always say Fred Meyer's a little higher end Walmart because they had more name brand stuff like Nike and things like that. So, but yeah, I never had. But the old school Walmart's
And I was
good.
trying to figure out a way to kind of weave it in, but the practice of going and getting a real tree.
Oh yeah, not many people do that anymore.
Not many people do that anymore, but that was kind of a thing.
I mentioned
you went out and you cut a tree down, even if it was at a farm, but you cut it down.
Well, I mentioned to my wife, and I told him in the car, when I was a kid, I remember we'd go out and my parents would spend like $20 because we got a real tree every year. Now trees are like $100 and $200.
That's nuts.
I'm like, what's that? Those trees
Those are the
grow
cheap
the
ones.
same. Like they're not different trees. So
Where if you want to go cut one, you just in Washington, it's a $5 permit,
yes.
and then you can go out and cut it down yourself.
All right. And my most 80s thing, too, I think, are the neighbors. They're yuppies.
Yeah.
They're very 80 with the head slicked back, just their clothes. I think they're hitting it's like they were extras on the movie of Wall Street with Michael Douglas and all that. So, I
What
think
was you had a back?
My other one was the VCR on top of the old school tube TV that had like the two knobs.
Very good. Yeah,
so I remember having one of those.
You
so.
just say that TV in general. It had the push button things and everything. Yeah.
Well, and even on that vein, the idea of the Griswold's decor in their house.
Oh yeah,
they had the curtains in the window.
Yeah.
And
a lot of pink. There was a lot of pink going on in that bathroom.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, category 7. Ooh, good category. So, favorite Christmas song. I'm going to go first here. I like the Mela Kalikimaka.
That was mine as well.
That's because it just reminds me of the pool scene. The pool scene's great. Eddie comes out swinging his shirt. I mean, it's perfect. He's drinking beer. I assume he dives into the pool with an open beer can. That's going to get him.
Even though we find out later that he can't swim.
That is correct.
I can't.
But yeah, that one was mine too, because that's the one where if I hear it, that's what I think of.
That's all I think of with Mela Kalikimaka. So
I know Eddie. What was that one part? He calls him Edward.
Yes.
And so he goes,
Yeah. So what do you got, Rob?
I put The Spirit of Christmas, Ray Charles.
Oh, nice.
The Ray Charles
Yeah, that's
song
a good
that
one.
he's doing up in the...
Takes you back to the attic.
I love the attic.
The attic's tying
I like
together
that song,
everything.
and it's-
Yeah, perfect. So,
It's me.
so category 8 is our favorite extended family member. So it can't be a direct Griswold, one of the 4. It's got to be
Okay, yep.
outside of Clark through Rusty.
Thanks for explaining that, because it was not on the script.
Oh, nice. Well, it says extended family member.
I figured
Okay.
it out.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
thanks for
Well,
explaining.
you go first since you
I'm
seem
glad
confused.
I would have... I luckily...
Yes.
I'm surprised you
I
still
got it right.
It's Rusty.
It's Rusty. I've got Rusty.
He extends sometimes. I don't know.
He's adopted.
He was my favorite. He was my favorite character in Vacation.
Oh, nice.
The episode we did on
It was.
All right. Well, mine was Uncle Lewis.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's mine.
I just
there you
put
go.
every line he delivers is
Yeah.
memorable.
Yes.
Whether it's the blessing,
The blessing's so
or
good.
Jesus did the room clear out.
Yeah.
The
Or if
nitroglycerin one.
Grizz, if you're not doing anything constructive,
Grab
can
my
you go get my
Stogie.
stogie?
Even when he goes, "What's the matter with you?" Or Jesus Christ, you couldn't hear a dump
Dump
truck.
truck driving through a nitroglycerin plant.
So,
What's that
those are
sound?
good.
Yeah.
So
It's
I
a
had
funny squeaking sound.
what? He goes-
You couldn't hear a dump truck driving through a
Yeah.
nitroglycerin plant.
So I have Lewis. I said I really like Uncle Lewis. He was my second, but it's Uncle Eddie. Like, come on, he's got most of the memorable quotes. He gets to say the stuff about the yak lady. He gets to when he just breaks that wooden spinning
walks
thing,
away.
just walks off, or the drag you somewhere and out to dead, and his response is,
I'm
"No,
good.
I'm doing just fine."
Can I
so
get
good.
you some more eggnog? Drive you in
so-
wilderness.
And
Yeah,
it's
which
just
shows
the,
he's not listening.
the light bulb that goes on when he goes, if I could get a present, I'd want him here right now. He's like, "No, all right."
Yeah.
He just takes off.
Or
So
when he goes,
If I hit my head, my hair just won't part
Nothing.
right.
What
He
did he
goes-
say? He goes,
Don't go put none of that stuff on my sled, Clark. You know that metal plate in my head?
How can I forget?
I had to have it replaced because every time Catherine revved up the microwave, I'd piss my pants and forget who I was for a half hour or so. So over at the VA, they had to replace it with a plastic one, and it ain't as strong, so... I don't know if I ought to go sailing down no hill with nothing between the ground and my brain but a piece of government plastic.
You really think it matters, Eddie?
Well, see, the plate runs right underneath my part here. And over here, it's, nothing. But here, if this gets dented, then my hair just ain't going to look right.
Well, he goes, "Do you think
should
it
use
mattered?"
the microwave, and he goes, and I
forget who I was
I'd
for an
piss
hour.
myself and forget who I was for
an
half an hour.
So, but the plate thing, he goes, they replaced it, and he goes, "Do you really think it matters?" He goes, "Well, if I don't, my hair won't part right."
Yeah.
He just looks at him.
Well, at
so.
the table when he goes, I think I hear Santa's sleigh, and he goes,
You serious, Clark?
You serious, Clark?
No, I heard that he was on his way or whatever. It was
Or even when he goes, maybe if you didn't feed him from the table, Eddie.
He goes,
He's
no.
probably just nosing through the trash.
That was the first time I saw it
Yakking on a
on Eddie's face. Like he's like, "Oh, he's mad at me."
Yeah.
And I really don't
Taking a
care.
sh- yeah,
I'm
he's
gonna say
taking a
no.
shot.
That's not what it is.
No.
Well, he even says weird things like when they're gonna sleep in the RV, and he goes, "Get the something in the rubber sheets."
Just get the rubber
gerbil.
sheets in the
Gerbil,
gerbil.
yeah.
Or the hamster.
Yeah.
What? I think
no,
it was
it's
hamster.
gerbil.
Is it gerbil?
It's gerbil.
There's something weird going on there. So, but yeah, I
What
got
does that
Uncle
mean?
Eddie. I got Uncle Eddie. So I think he's my favorite extended family member.
I want to say he's saying don't forget the rubber sheet because
they wet
one
the
of the
bed.
kids wets the bed.
Correct.
I'm guessing the son.
Yeah, but I don't know what the
But
gerbil
then I
thing
didn't,
is.
seems like
but
a
then
bed
I
wetter.
didn't know if maybe it was it's for them. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, that
Surprised
gets
he didn't
us
keep
to
the gerbil.
Well, yeah, maybe that would have been fun.
Yeah.
Well, that gets us to category 9, our final category, the Harry Temple. I should have stayed in Aspen moment.
Aspen it is.
All right, so this is a moment in the movie when a character knows or realizes their demise or that something really bad may occur to them. So, Rob, why don't you kick this one off?
I just have an image in my head of the scene where he's peering into the tree
Oh, nice.
And he makes eye contact with the squirrel.
Nice.
And he realizes there's a squirrel in it.
Yeah. Well, mine has to do with the squirrel
chaos
too.
ensues.
Mine's when the squirrel and the dog run out the door and they blow through Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah.
So Margot's face is like, I'm gonna die real quick. So yeah. So and then when she comes back and punches Todd in the face, it's fantastic. So
All right, mine goes back to my question when Russ goes, "Dad, did you bring a saw?" And just his face, like,
Boing.
"Oh crap!"
Yeah.
Yep, I forgot.
Yeah.
So yeah. So those are all good. There's several demise situations in this. I could say there's a couple faces they make when they're getting chased by the rednecks, or when he hops the truck and he's like, "Oh, we're here, made great time," or whatever he says. So,
he's always jumping his car.
Always jumping the car.
Well, and like,
but always lands on the wheels.
That's right.
When he's under the trailer, or the truck.
Yeah.
There's, he's
he
got
knows.
that wide-eyed scene.
Yeah.
You don't think I know?
You don't think I know?
It's not like I planned this.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly.
Take it, Russ.
Take it, Russ. La 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 la. I love that Russ just stares.
Yep.
Because this goes back to the relatability movie. I would have done the same thing Russ did. Take it, Dave.
Nope.
I remember my
Not doing
mom
this.
trying to sing a song.
Not doing
one time
this.
my grandpa was also in the car, and he had this song called "Found a Peanut."
Yeah,
And
I know it.
Yeah, and he would
Found
sing
a
that whole
peanut,
song.
found a peanut.
Nice.
Found a peanut just now. Yeah, it was a whole thing, and it would go all the way until the guy died.
Before we wind this down, were you able to target or find out?
No, I
did Kip
can't.
get us
Yeah,
that
no,
band
I can't.
T-shirt?
No.
No internet photos or
Kip's
anything.
been working hard, can't find anything. He's still working on those jingle bells.
Why do we even employ this guy? At some point, just got to cut our losses.
No.
Sorry, Kip. That's fine. All right. Well, that's all our categories. So we covered everything we're looking for. But I do have a bonus category. And it's nothing you had to study
All
for,
right.
so you're okay. All I put was, what is your favorite character of the entire film? So go ahead.
Oh man,
Kurt, go ahead.
Wow, you're
while
not even going to
you're
give us.
thinking
You're
about
not even going to give us a minute to think.
No, I won't.
No,
because off the top of your head should be your answer.
Well,
First thing you think of.
gotta go with Eddie then.
Oh, okay. So favorite character of the whole movie is
I just
Eddie.
didn't go with him on the extended because I thought we talked a lot about him.
I gotcha.
On the first vacation movie.
That's true. I agree.
Gosh, yeah, Eddie.
Eddie.
Yeah,
So,
I think he's Eddie.
well, I'm going to shock the two of you a little bit.
Oh boy,
Because it's a twofer, but
Yeah.
it's Todd and Margot.
Sometimes that's a threefer.
Yeah, I love Todd and Margot. I really think without Todd and Margot, the tone of the movie is a little different. Having that animosity, having just that little bit, they're not in it a ton, but just, and Julie Louis-Dreyfus, I think, is just excellent in this movie. For the short part she has, she's so funny. You know, when she's crying and he's at the bottom of the steps like, oh, she's crying again. Or when Todd says something like, he goes, oh, I want to kiss your whole body. She goes, after you shower, of course. Yeah, it's so perfect.
What does she say when she's laying on the couch and she goes, "If you're not man enough to, take care of this
Take
shit,
care of shit. I'll do it myself, right?" Or and then she goes, she thinks it's him.
Go away, Todd. If you want to come in, you are going to have to break down the goddamn door.
And she goes, if you want to come in, you're gonna have to beat down the damn door, and the cops bust the door. And so my favorite characters of the film, Todd and Margot. I love Todd and Margot. I think they really do a lot for the movie, so I'm happy. So that brings us to our final judgment. I think we all know where we're going with this, but what do you think? All-time classic? What do you got?
All-time classic.
Yeah,
all-time classic.
Probably my
I don't think we need to spit too much on that.
No.
If I'm ranking them, this is probably number one. I was on our friend Pop Culture Yearbook podcast. I actually said this was second to Scrooged. I really like Scrooged, and everybody picks this as number one. But there are times I laugh a little more at Scrooge just because of Bill Murray's delivery and all that. But they're really close. They're like neck and neck. So, but I think a lot of people our age, this is probably going to be close to number one. But yeah, all-timer. We watch it every year, multiple times.
Yep.
And we know everything that's coming. I know every line that's coming, and I still laugh. You know, shit and rocks, I still laugh. I know she's going to say shit and rocks. It's all good. So, yeah. So, all-time holiday classic.
It's my favorite.
And what makes it the classic, as we discussed at the beginning, it's got staying power. Yeah. You can relate to it. It's got funny things that could happen to you. Some a little outlandish, but for the most part, a dinner going awry, all those types of things. Those things can happen at the holidays. So I think that's why everybody comes back to it over and over and over again. Yep. So even if Chevy Chase is kind of a turd burger, right?
Yeah.
Or Turd Ferguson, whatever we want to call him. So,
but she still loves him
she does.
despite all of his craziness.
Even though he's getting sap things of the magazine stuck and putting it in her hair and whatever else. She waxes her upper lip.
I
Yes, for years.
never noticed.
Can't notice. Yeah, because she waxes it. So, well, I think that covers everything.
Yeah.
Probably not. People will point out we missed several things, but for the 1,000,001th podcast on this movie, I think that covers everything you would ever need to know about Christmas Vacation. You two got anything else?
I do not.
I got nothing.
All right. Well, fans, as we close out 2024, you may be thinking, how can I support this amazing podcast? Well, funny you should ask. You can start by subscribing to the show if you haven't done so already, so that you never miss any episodes, and then share it with one other person that loves the 80s and 90s as much as you. This will help grow the show and increase our visibility. You can also reach out to us on all the social media sites. Just Google 80s, 90s Recall. You'll find us. You can reach out, let us know what you think of the show, recommend episode topics, or just let the three of us know how we've made the holiday season hotter than it really is.
Well done. Hey, let's indulge in some nostalgia, shall we? The Totally 80s and 90s Recall team wants to remind you that the Totally 80s and 90s Recall podcast is the perfect complement to your listening experience and the perfect antidote to modern life. We are the Clark to your Ellen, the Todd to your Margot, the Bing Crosby to your Danny fucking K, and the cat food to your Jello. Now burn some dust and eat our rubber and visit Totally 80s 90s Recall at podbean.com. We'll have you saying, don't forget the rubber sheets and the gerbils faster than you can identify your strange nephew's lip fungus. If it's knowledge you seek, send us an email at 80s90srecall@gmail.com. Consider the Totally 80s and 90s Recall podcast your nostalgia, non-nutritive varnish,
Remember, don't try this at home, kids. I am a
We're
professional.
semi-permeable. We are not osmotic. We coat and we seal the past and prevent the future from penetrating.
Nice.
We don't want penetration.
I will say, we covered just about everything, and we didn't talk about that sled scene much at all. And I will kick in, this is just a freebie. My wife loves when he goes, later dudes. She loves that.
Later dudes.
When he does it, she laughs
Yeah.
every single time.
I
So
still say it. Yeah. Later, dude.
All right, folks, before we go off to untangle those pesky house lights, we need your help. Please hit the 5-star rating and leave us a review. Your ratings and reviews help us spread the holiday cheer and make sure we don't keep the make sure we keep the podcast running smoother than Cousin Eddie's RV. Also, please head to the website to visit the online merch store where you can take care of everyone on your Christmas list in one place. From cozy sweatshirts to mugs that'll make you feel like you're officially part of the Totally 80s and 90s Recall family. Our merch is the perfect way to spread holiday cheer.
beautiful. And we're a good family to hang out with. Like the Griswolds.
That's right. Just
We're
3
perfect.
Uncle Eddies hanging out.
Ooh.
Oh.
I'll be more like Uncle Lewis.
Nope.
I want to sleep in the chair. That's my goal.
And you reach that goal most of the time when you come over to people's houses.
No problem. No problem at all.
I'll be Uncle Eddie. That's cool.
All right, Rob, you got any closing thoughts?
I do. Let's face it, the holidays can be a total nightmare, but National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation takes the nightmare and turns it into a hilarious, chaotic masterpiece. I got choked up.
You are. You're like,
wow. Are you watching old movies in the attic right now?
I am.
Jeez.
Here are 5 reasons. What the hell was that? We have 5 reasons we think this movie needs to be in your regular Christmas movie rotation. Number 1, Clark Griswold's meltdown. Watch as Chevy Chase, iconic character, descends into holiday madness from battling faulty Christmas lights to dealing with his obnoxious cousin Eddie. Number 2, family dysfunction at its finest. The Griswold family, along with their quirky relatives, provides a hilarious showcase of family dynamics gone awry. Kind of what we talked about. Number 3, over-the-top humor. From exploding turkeys to runaway squirrels, the movie is filled with absurd and outrageous comedic moments. Number 4, nostalgic charm. The film's 80s setting and classic Christmas imagery evoke feelings of nostalgia and warm holiday memories. And number 5, relatable chaos. The movie captures the chaotic and often stressful nature of family gatherings during the holidays, making viewers feel less alone in their own experience. So if you're looking for a good laugh and a reminder that your family Christmas isn't quite as bad as it could be, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is the perfect holiday film for y'all.
It is perfect.
There you go.
Think we can't argue with that, right?
Yeah.
Who are we?
Who are we to argue with that?
We definitely don't give it 2 stars like our buddy Raj there. So
we get it 5.
So, all right. Well, fried pussycat, destroyed stereo systems, torched Christmas trees, and a chemical toilet screams holidays with the family. But as much fun as we've had today, unfortunately, that brings us to the end of this episode. We hope you've enjoyed our look back, the 1,000,001 look back at 1989 Christmas classic, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And just to make you feel old again, it is 35 years old.
Oh, wow.
As always, we want to thank the Movie Hound for sharing this cinematic expertise with us and checking all of the studio's little twinkle lights before recording today.
They're not twinkling.
I know. Thank you for pointing that out. Finally, a big shout out to you. Oh, you always notice these things. Our awesome listeners, whether you're tuning in for the first time or you're a longtime subscriber, we can't thank you enough for hanging out with us this week. We hope we gave you a fun hour or so of laughs and memories. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and don't forget, you can catch all new episodes of Totally 80s and 90s Recall every Tuesday.
Tuesday.
We love it.
We haven't missed one yet.
Nope.
Hey, what are we doing next time?
We're going to put together a New Year's Eve party playlist. So we're going to put together some songs that you can play at your New Year's Eve parties this year. Even if they only run till about 10 o'clock, that's fine because we're old people now.
Hey, 10 o'clock here is midnight. It's 1 o'clock on the East
somewhere.
Coast.
Yeah.
It's 1 o'clock on the East Coast.
But the catch to this is all of our songs are going to come from the 1990s. So you got that decade to put together. We're going to put together some hot tracks, Rob.
I will be ready.
You're going to be ready. We're going to put together some bangers that slap. That's what we're going to do.
I don't think we're
No, it's
supposed
perfect.
to say that.
We're going to eat when we make this playlist, Rob.
No.
So
I'll eat.
No,
I will eat.
No,
I
but you're-
tend to eat when I'm doing
You're
my
not
work.
getting it from the cool perspective of kids. We're going to eat for this playlist.
Like
it's going to
pizza.
I can't use it in the past tense yet because we haven't done it yet.
You have not eaten.
We've not eaten.
How would you use that? Like
Eaten.
if you were cool yesterday, would you? Yesterday I was eating.
No.
Like
yesterday I ate.
The shoes.
Yesterday you ate.
The shoes I was wearing yesterday ate.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
All right. Okay.
Just go talk to your kids.
Okay.
They know this much better than you do. So, well, you got anything else?
I got nothing else.
Hound, anything else?
Nope.
Fancy goodbyes?
No fancy.
No
goodbye.
fancy goodbyes.
It's that time. Christmas time is here. Everybody knows.
The blessing. I love that. Grace, she died 30 years ago.
30 years ago.
Clark, is your house on fire?
They didn't move into a new house.
Don't throw me down, Clark. I love that one when they're walking in the house.
You think Clark's thrown her down before?
Maybe that's why they don't like him.
That's right.
Mistreating Aunt Bethany.